What's going on, YouTubers, gamers and hobbyists, and welcome to this month's episode of P&Q, the question and answer series where you get to ask me questions or put comments to me and then I respond to you the following month. Now, I got more questions this month, which is good, which is very good. And before I start, just like a brief note, I must say, and I know I've said it before, but thank you to everyone for your kind words, support, and everything through these trying times. I know we'll get them, but yeah, it's very, very, very much appreciated. Thank you so much. So you can email me for an anonymous response, and there's a link in the video description below. It's miniwarzone at gmail.com. That's it. I nearly said mini wargaming. The reason is I've got them on the brain right now for some reason. Lots of stuff going on with them. But yeah, I've got an email, and I've got a couple of questions from other videos that are on that appeared on my channel. So I might just get those done first. Okay, so the first one's an email. It says, "Hi Pete, here are a few questions for your next Q&A. Keep going." And there are 9 questions, which is awesome. I like this. Okay. The number 1 is, where do you like to go when you eat out? Well, we're not going to be able to eat out for a while now due to finances, but when we do go, we go out to a place called The Bank. And if I remember, I'll put a picture up just briefly to show you. If not, I'll just tell you anyway. It looks like a bank, and the reason is because it used to be a bank years ago. It got turned into a pub. After the fact. Yeah, it used to be a bank years ago. It's like one of the older banks that we used to have in Plymouth. Anyway, number 2, do you like to cook? That's a good question. Before I answer that, I'm just going to move the camera that way a bit. Do I like to cook? Yeah, I can cook. I wouldn't say it's a big hobby of mine. You know, I don't. Maybe I'd enjoy it more if we had a bigger kitchen and the space, because you know where I live, the space is very limited, and you know it can be getting in each other's way, and it gets a mess easily if you're not clearing exactly as you go. What I would like is one of those kitchens with like an island in the middle, with loads of space and loads of work, top room. Maybe I could get into cooking then, maybe. But at the moment, you know, yeah, I can cook, but yeah, I just do it because we've got to eat. 3, could you live without the internet? Yes, I think so. Of course, it would mean I wouldn't have YouTube, you guys, which is my biggest outlet for like self-therapy. Yes, I'd find other ways to get around it though. Yeah, I'd find a way around it. I don't know. It'd be more old school. Have to create like, I don't know. Or maybe I think what I'd do is I'd set up a club for like-minded people, and we could go like a hobby club, but more like an interactive forum club in person, where people could come and talk and answer questions, whatever, that kind of thing. But yeah, I could certainly live without the internet. Of course, I mean, we're going to have to one day, right? Most memorable birthday. Wow, most memorable birthday. I have a couple of memorable birthdays, not always necessarily for the right reasons. Let's go back some years to my 40th. I remember that one well, and the reason I remember that one well is because my band at the time, because I created the band and I was kind of, I ran the band, I was in charge of it. I decided we'd play my birthday party, hired a hall and big place and that. Loads of people came, I mean loads of people, there was food and I got so drunk. During the second set, I think, must have been the second set, because you know, drinking, I started playing the wrong song. I was about halfway through the song before I realised I was playing the complete wrong song to everybody else, and they all look at me going, "What's the matter with Pete?" Yeah, I fell into my wardrobe that night. Yeah, it's memorable for the wrong reasons. um, what would your perfect day be like is the fifth question. No, that's a good one. What would my perfect day be like? Let's see. My perfect day. Nice sunny day. Not too hot, but sunny and dry. A nice walk with the dogs, preferably with my wife. Perhaps we could go out, maybe to a spa or something like that, and then get a bite to eat after, and maybe onto a movie later on. That would be my perfect day. Yeah. 6. When are you happiest? When am I happiest? At times like this. It's my weekend now, by the way. It's Wednesday afternoon, and it's my weekend. Actually, saying it's Wednesday afternoon, I just realised I haven't turned my phone off or set it to do not disturb. That's actually 4:05. So there you go. 5 minutes past 4. I'll try not to kick the tripod that the camera's on. Yeah, so times like this, when I've been to work, because I've worked some brilliant hours now, I might get a chance to talk a bit more about that later. I've done my work, I come home, and that's it for the next couple of days. I'm good. What's on your bucket list? Well, my bucket list. I would like to go to Canada. I'd like to go to Vancouver, actually. That would be on my bucket list for sure. Vancouver. To see Stanley Park. I've seen so many great pictures of that and been told about it. Yeah, that would be on my bucket list for sure. Going to Canada, Vancouver, and visit Stanley Park. Will you be voting in the upcoming election? Yes, I always vote. In even the local elections, I vote every election that's going, because, and I'm not going to get political, but the way I view it, if you don't vote, you can't moan. Yeah. And there's always something to moan about, right? And number 9, what book are you currently reading, and which one will you read after that? I'm reading several books at the moment. You mean storybooks, though? I did start reading a Horus Heresy one, but I got caught up with these other books. What I'm reading at the moment is rule books, different D&D rule books. There's loads of them. I'm currently reading that right now. So yeah, I can't see me getting onto a story anytime soon, but I would probably restart my Horus Heresy one. It's quite far into the series. I just can't remember which one it is. And that's all for the email. I might as well move on to the comments, or the comments that were left on different videos I put out. Now, I put a video. It must have been one of my Zombicide videos, because this person talks about Zombicide in detail. It's from Joe Snuffy 2003 Gamer. He said, "Hey, just wanted to share some of my rules for review, because I did a video about my house rules and what I like, doing house rules in Zombicide." He said, 1. So this is for people that play Zombicide. So 1, if a weapon lets character roll X amount of attacks, I let them roll up to that same amount with a 1 on that colour breaking the weapon. Yes. Sort of like mishaps in the old D&D, I suppose. 2, I used the canned food, water, etc. as extra life, sort of like they found it and ate it, allowing the energy to slip past a bite by discarding it out of the backpack, expending the energy. Yeah, that's a good one. That's quite good. I might use that myself. I pulled out all the blue level abominations and left only 1 double activation of walkers, 1 for fatties and 1 for runners. When a double activation is drawn, it doesn't get discarded. It goes back into what is left in the deck and reshuffled. I had an issue where players would just wait and stock up. This forces them to move fast, as the end of the game is terrifying due to the double activation chance getting higher and higher. Yes. Testing a few others as well now, along with the new 24-hour mode coming out in second edition. Anything you guys would change? Rules wise, no. I would just change the like the cards and that. I think they're better now in the later editions, but the characters and the little things that you slide along, that can be quite irritating at times. And putting your equipment cards down on top of the character card, that could be a bit annoying because it can get mixed up quite easily. Other than that, no. Rules wise, no, I'm quite happy with the rules, and I'm happy with the way they're versatile enough to you know, chop and change around as I see fit, and as you've obviously seen fit, and I'm sure many others have. So yes, thank you for that question. Next comment comes from Silly Spud Rocking. You know who you are. Now this is kind of an in question. This is going to apply only to a few people that watch my channel. A very few people. It says, are you still using the app? Yes, is the short answer. And yeah. So to all my retail buddies out there who had the app and the handset for the replen, one of which still does. Yes, you know how they all went missing, the handsets, didn't they? Well, you could quadruple the amount of hands. I think more than that. They've just got tons and tons of handsets where I'm working now. They've got a whole like cabinet. You open it's full of them, all on chargers, different levels. Yeah, and you can attach hand like things to make them look more like guns. They're better actually because I'm a bit cack-handed when it comes to doing the buttons. Yeah, so I'm still using the app. It's a different app, obviously different software. I'm doing a different job now. It's not as harsh as it was for replen. It just tells you to keep on track and lets you know if you're slipping behind, when the order's due to go out. But you've always got plenty of time. It's an absolute doddle compared to replen. You know, it's easy. It's an easy job. So the answer is yes, I'm still using the app. No laughing, you. Right, on to the questions from last month now. And we're starting with, we're starting with a cup of tea. This one's for Nick. Idic beer. Tea, because it is tea, Earl Grey. Hot. Yes, still hot. Anyway. Basic miniature painting is first, and he says, really sorry to hear about the job role, mate. Keep smiling, my friend. Thank you so much. Yes, managed to secure another job. I wanted one just for Christmas. Well, obviously I want a permanent job, but I wanted one just to get Christmas over with. But I've got one, not only have I got this Christmas over with, I've got one until February, so it gives me a little bit of breathing space, as it were. So yeah, I'm a lot more positive now, thank you. Next is Frost and Fists, Wolf Brother Mythos, and he says, once again, my sincere apologies about that your dream job didn't work out, my brother. I honestly hope and pray that better things are coming for you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, like I say, I've had so many well wishes and people supporting me on this. Yeah, and looking on the bright side, there's obviously a reason why my dream job didn't work out. Maybe it saved me from a fate, you know, falling down some steps or something. That's the way I look at it. At least I've been removed from that situation now, so that can no longer happen to me. It was pretty hairy at times. Yeah, I think better things will come my way. I've started doing a marketing course now, digital marketing course, and I'm looking to improve my myself, and in the long run get a better job. In the bright side, this was a really great Q&P. It's awesome that we both think about otic spiced potatoes when we have similar foods. Yes, I used to make them for our D&D group once in a while. My brother, if I can ever afford it, I'm coming out over to the States and I'm going to look you up and I'm going to get you to make them for me. Actually, that is a dream. I was actually just earlier today, the early afternoon, I was thinking, oh, imagine if I came into some money and I won the lottery or something like that. What would I do? One of the things I would do would be to travel, and I would come over to the States and I'd see all my YouTube friends and pals, and I'd like to meet you all in person, and it's going to happen one day in the future. I would love so much to meet you all. Maybe we could go out, just have a good time, get together. That'd be so nice. I would really like that. Also, I'm glad you enjoyed my reference to the T in the Wolf Angel books. Yeah, very much so. Yes, indeed. For next time, with your love of games like Zombicide, I'm going to ask you a question that every zombie film fan has thought about. What do you envisage as your go-to zombie apocalypse plan? My friends and I always entertain the idea of a mall headquarters like the old film. But what are your thoughts? Take care, my brother, and happy Halloween. Yes. Yeah, Halloween came and went, didn't it? Without any issues. And we had a good Halloween. Too many sweets, though. Right. My idea, or my thoughts on the apocalypse plan. I've thought about this a lot. I'm gonna hold up in an old church, one of the ones near to me. The reason I would go to a church is because a lot of the older churches have secret back doors to the crypts that go underneath and up, and I don't think the zombies would be able to get there. And they're quite heavily barricaded and barred, particularly the windows and the walls and that, and the big heavy doors. I think we'd be good there, so I would hold up there, because even the older churches now have a kitchen of sorts now, so we would head there. On the way to the church, I would break into the local chemist. So I'm not talking about breaking the law here. This is a hypothetical thing, of course. Break into the local chemist, stock up on all the painkiller meds and plasters and bandages and things like that, as much as we could carry. Head on to the church. That would be our headquarters. Then we'd get that all set up. Then it'd be a trip to stock up on weapons. I've got a lot of melee weapons anyway of my own, which I would keep with me. Because do that. Then I'd head on into the city centre and see if we could hit one of the gun shops there. Got a couple of gun shops, and I think because some of them are just like pellet guns, but I think some of the big high-powered pellet guns might be enough to, if you had it close enough to a head or a zombie, it might penetrate enough to stop them or at least slow them down. At least I'm hoping. Don't think we'll be able to, that's if we couldn't get actual guns. So that would be what we would do. We'd hole up in a church. Over to you. When I say over to you, I mean you guys, not Mythos, because you've already talked about the mall thing, which is cool as well because you've got stores, haven't you? And see, for a while I did think maybe a supermarket would be quite good, but there's too many glass fronts. They could easily get through that, I think. I'm sure you wouldn't go hungry, but I think we'd have to raid the supermarkets. But so over to you guys. Anybody want to let us know what you would do in an apocalypse? A great question, my brother. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you. All right, on to Idicbeer40k, who says, great episode, Pete. Sorry to hear about the bad news. My fingers are crossed for your future. Thank you, sir. Not having played 8th edition for a year, if 9th comes out next year, will you still get the rule books, etc.? I don't know, actually. I thought about this. Just take a sip of tea a minute. I don't know. I'd probably stick with 8th for a while. Because I've hardly played it. I'd get all the codexes for each of the armies I've got in 8th, for sure. I'd see what it brings. Probably no is my answer. Because although I'll always have a Warhammer route, and I'll always paint the models. Keeping up, I think it's the rules that keep changing, and the updates and all this kind of thing. It's a lot to keep up with. It really is, and it's cool if you're playing regularly, but I'm not. So no, I'd probably just stick with 8 for a while. I mean, not that I haven't played in ages, but when I was, we were using the indexes, so I'll probably stick with those for a bit. But I've got a couple of codexes for the 8th edition. I've got Tau, Orcs, and Tyranids. I'll always get Tyranids. I might even buy, if they update the Tyranid Codex, I probably would keep up on that because Tyranids are my love. Actually, I've been making a couple of Tyranids out of my Tyranid spares box. That's a little spoiler. I'm going to make a video at a future date on that. Yeah, I've made an objective marker and a new Tyranid. See what you think of them. Yeah, thank you for your question. Okay, next page. 5 sheets today. Although the page 5 has only got 1 question, but anyway, it sounds good. Billy Page is next. Says, great video, sir. Sorry to hear about the job situation. Hang in there. Just a temporary setback. Yes, and I'm sure you're right. It's difficult at the time sometimes to see the light from all the crap that's going on, and to see that things will get better. Of course they'll get better. Yeah, and they are, I think, slowly and steadily. Atomic Dog Scale Model Freak is next, who says, bummer about the job situation. You'll be fine. Do not give up. How many armies do you have, painted or not? How many skirmish groups do you have, painted or not? Now get painting. Got some thumbs up, smiley face, a pumpkin head. I like the pumpkin head. How many armies have I got? Oh my goodness, I don't know. Oh wow. Well, let me see. Let me just see if I can do it. Tyranids, obviously. Got Necrons, Tau, Ultramarines, Blood Angels, Dark Angels. Got Chaos, got Death Watch. That's more of a skirmish. I've got, for Ronin, I've got Samurai, I've got Peasants, I've got Ninjas. I've got like Militia. I've got a couple of different groups for Strontium Dog. I've got a Gene Stealer Cult Kill Team and Adeptus Mechanicus. What else have I got here? Oh, Astra Militarum. Is that enough to be getting on with? Great question. Stephen Green is next. Hey Stephen, you alright? He says, something will work out, brother. Another door will open. Keep at it, my friend. Yeah. Do you have any running gags or recurring characters among your campaigns? Oh yes. You talking about role-playing? Yes. Okay, so that's the first one. So that's like, yes. Have a running gag in our D&D games. It involves one of the group's very, very first games. Probably not the first game, but I don't know, it might have been. Anyway. And it's so long ago, we're talking probably first edition D&D here. Yeah, gotta be first edition. Anyway, the party was quite large back then, and they heard singing as they were down by a river, and it was this old man walking along, and he was singing, and one of the group, I admittedly he was young and headstrong, I suppose. He just decided to throw his dagger at this old man. Boom. Which the old man just sort of like, put his hand up and it stopped in midair, and because it turned out the old man was a very powerful old wizard. He's very powerful, but he was a bit befuddled. Alright? And it worked out that he assumed that this was a greeting. That when you met this person, instead of shaking hands or saying how are you, you throw a dagger at them. So every time he met that person, from then on, which was several times, he'd throw a dagger at him. Hey, hello, throw a dagger at him. He's like, why? I mean, everybody else was like, why are you throwing a dagger at him? He's an old man. That's just crazy. But yeah, but it'd be like, you hear singing. You're walking down the street and you hear singing, and everybody'd be like, oh no. And especially, what was he called? It was so long ago. I'm trying to remember the guy's name. I can't remember his name. Can't remember. It was when he was still at school. That's how long ago it was. So you got to forgive me for not remembering names. But yeah, and he was like, "Oh no, not again." And he go, "Oh hello, dagger." It was a D4 for damage back then on the daggers. It was the THACO system, to hit armor class 0 back then. So, and he was a wizard. I remember that, a magic user. And in those days, in that edition, you didn't automatically have the top end of numbers for your first level. You had to roll a dice to create a character. So it was possible to roll a 1 and have a first level character as a wizard with 1 hit point. He didn't. He had 3, I think. But he would absolutely crap himself when the dagger came flying at him, because he obviously had no armor and he could die, potentially. Because there wasn't none of that, Back there those days, when you died, you died. But yeah, it's very, very funny, and I thought it was hilarious. And after a while, everybody else thought, just belongs to the camera. After a while, everybody else thought it was hilarious too. And it was very, very funny. Moving on then, he says, do you prefer metal, plastic or resin models? And then lastly, have you ever tried Hero Forge or similar sites where you can build your own minis? No, I haven't tried those. That sounds intriguing. I'm keen on, the future of, or seeing where the future of minis goes with 3D printing and so on and so forth. And that might be something that could be a thing to look into. Excuse me, I'm just going to pop on the heating. Yes, let's turn my heater on because it's getting chilly out here now. Right, so as for metal, plastic or resin models, as a rule I prefer plastic, especially when it comes to like high quality minis like the likes that you get with Games Workshop. That said, sometimes for characters and things, I like a metal model. I like the solid weight behind it of a metal model. You can get around that by weighting the base a bit. But yeah, generally plastic. Resin, I'm not very keen on resin. I don't like resin. I'm just not a fan. Which is probably why I have 0 Forge World models. But yeah, great question. Thank you, Stephen. And my last question, what time are we up to here? Oh wow, nearly half an hour. It's from JamJar34. How is it going? Hope that leg of yours is getting better, by the way. It says, sorry to hear about the job and your health. Quick recovery, thank you. I'm in the same boat, recovery from a calf injury. Signed off work, second week in. This was about 4 weeks ago now at the time of recording this. Got another week to go at minimum. Just finished my board for Armies on Parade, which I missed due to the injury. Got inspiration from this video. Thank you. Question. Can you go through the steps that you go through to do rock cliffs and bases if you are using sand? E.g. colours, methods. Head up, mate. It will all come very good in the end. Sending Hobie Kitchen love. Wow, thank you, sir. Steps I would go through to do rock cliffs and bases. I was using sand. Do you know, I may just do a video on that, if that's okay. I may use that as a video because I can give me something to think on. I can make a tutorial out of that. Thank you. That's good. I might do that. Yes, I might do that. Make a tutorial on that. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to do that. Yes, I'm going to use. Yes, so I'm going to make a tutorial on that. I mean, you know, for normal rock stuff, I start off with black. Depending on the size of it, I work my way through to white, with the greys dark going through to light to white. The bigger the piece, the more steps I use, if that makes sense. For something small, I'll probably just use 3, you know, like black, dark grey, light grey, maybe white. So dark grey, medium grey, white, and that'll be it. But for sandy beaches and that kind of thing, using sand, yeah, I'm going to give that some thought, and I'll make a video on it. Thank you, sir. And that's it. That's all the questions I've got for this month. So thanks ever so much for your input. It's been a really enjoyable episode. I'm feeling heaps better, hopefully, as you can see. I'm definitely feeling better. I'm looking on things in a lot more positive light these days, and just generally, life's still throwing me the odd curveball here and there, but I'm dealing with it better. I feel like I'm making better decisions, and my life is taking a turn for the better. So, yeah, life is pretty good right now. I mean, as far as Christmas goes, because it'll be Christmas next time we talk, I don't know what sort of Christmas we're going to have. We're probably not going to do anything like presents or anything like that. We just don't have the funds for it. But as long as we've got like plenty of we'd like to get some good food first, because I've got a lot of points on my discount cards for stores and things. So we're going to get some good food for Christmas. As long as we've got, roof over our heads, good food, warmth, love from one another. That's all we can ask for. You can't ask for anything more than that. We're going to probably do something for our local church, like carol service or something like that. Just throw ourselves into it and, get on board with that. And then before you know it, it'll be New Year. And, but things change. Things do change in time. I could have won the lottery by next month. I don't do it. I'd have to do it first, don't I? But yeah. Anyway, I'm rambling on now, so I won't take up any more of your valuable time, because time is the new money these days, I feel. So remember, all brushes lead to all, my friends. I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now, my friends. Bye-bye.